It's your boy Mac Mans. I want to welcome you tonight to the first sip. Now, you know how we get down before we start the show. I always never take, I never spill tea, but I always take the last sip. Here we go. Let's give some love to the agua. Thank y'all so much. God forgive me tonight. Trying to get myself together here. Well, today I have a special show for you. If you guys have been following me all day today, I finally got the Instagram going, so I want to welcome the Instagram people here. Let's give a cheer for the people on Instagram. So I want to thank you guys for following me on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And if this is your first time following me, you know my catch line. I don't spill tea, but I do take the last sip. What I do is specialize in giving my commentary the Mac Man's way on some things I see and some situations going on. And today's show is important to me because today we're going to go ahead and get it popping. If you have been paying attention to social media lately, you should have noticed that there is a new cartoon coming out, which is a follow-up in the storyline universe of Good Times. Now, there's a lot of feedback, be it negative or positive, there's feedback coming back from the trailer that was just released and put out. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and go to Netflix, or even you can go to YouTube, put in Good Times Netflix, and you'll see the trailer. Now, the reason the trailer is getting so much slapback is because of it has a lot of negative depictions of the hood or ghetto lifestyle, if you will. Now, I'll be 100% honest. The commentary you're going to get from me is my commentary. I've been listening to people speak about this all week, and I have chosen not to say some things. I've sat back and I meditate on this for a while. And what I'm getting out of is this. For the type of show that it is, it's in the vein of Black Dynamite, the Boondocks, but it has a little bit of twist of like Family, American Dad, Family Guy, where it has that over-the-top satire. They take every last aspect of what they think or what they thought living in the ghetto in the hood was, and they just ratchet it up 100%. With that being said, I'm not a big fan of what I saw in the trailer, as a lot of people aren't, because it has us in a mindset, or puts us in a sort of column or grouping as people who seem to sit back and blame everybody else for what's going on. And instead of trying to move out of that situation, we embrace it. That is such a false narrative. It is a narrative that's being placed out there, and it's a stigma that we've been trying to fight forever. And for the fact that this is something that's being pushed out to you and you're supposed to take it in, I just really am not feeling this. And the fact that the producers on this is Mr. Three-Point Shot himself, Mr. Golden State, Mr. Curry, Norman Lear, who was one of the original writers or producers of Good Times. If you know the story, he was the actual guy who did it. He took credit for it. And Seth MacFarlane. Now, if you watch any Seth MacFarlane cartoons or animated adults, I call them adult cartoons, he has a very ratchet mind, a very wide open mind. Some of the stuff that he does, I can't watch or bring myself to watch because it's just me. I'm not saying it's something that you shouldn't watch. It's just me. But I do believe that there was a better way to bring Good Times back, or even to have Good Times on the air without doing it as ratchet as they did. There had to be a way to do it better than what they did. If you haven't seen this, there's pictation of Jesus being lazy, playing games with his boys up in heaven. There's situations to where They got a drug dealing baby. It's the stereotypes in this is over the top. Now I know everybody's not going to agree with me on what I'm saying, and I get it. I really get it. But for us to succeed as a group of people who have been pushed to the brink and already started behind the finish line, we've got to make sure that we are feeding ourselves and our culture something a little bit different. We got to feed ourselves something a little bit more. It's like I said before, like when I had the conversation earlier about me being one of those. And what it was like I said, one of those was a person that I wanted to live in a better neighborhood. I wanted to have something that I established and passed on to my children. I wanted to show them some type of skill and some type of something to give them more get up and go, to give them more pride, to give them more, we can do this, to show them it was a different way of life than what we were used to and accustomed to growing up. And I think stuff like this sets us back because it is young people who are going to watch the show more than adults. If you were a fan of Good Times, if you were an older adult, you're not watching this show. Now, I did see some comments, people saying, well, it's more ratchet towards adults, not children. Adults don't watch this type of stuff. Our younger people do. The younger generation watches this. And for the fact this is what you're feeding them mentally is garbage. I was just stating that how they do things overseas. They put programs out for children and young adults that helps them to succeed and shows them a maturation process that works in positivity and prosperity. We don't do that. We dummy down our systems. We water down our progression methods. This is something that is going to hit like a bunch of bricks to the bottom of the stomach. We have got to come better than this. And to take a series that already was showing a no hope situation, because you had James Evans and Florida Evans raising 3 children in the ghetto and they couldn't get out. James passed away before he got his big break. And Florida had to end up staying in the hood the whole time or in the ghetto until they were able to make it out in the last season where her and Valona ended up getting apartments next door to each other. You saw JJ join the gang and get beat up and shot. You saw Michael trying to get out with his education that could never make it. You saw Thelma going through bad relationship after bad relationship. You saw abusive situations with a child. You saw situations where they had to deal with the landlord all the time, couldn't pay the rent. They couldn't eat right. They got sick from bad meat. It was so many scenarios that a lot of us could feed into and understand. So you always watch that show thinking, man, they need to, I hope they can get out, wish they can get out, wish they can get out. And so to go from that of a hope situation to where we saw what they went through and we were hoping they can get out, to see what I'm seeing now about how they're embracing all this garbage. It's supposed to be the grandson of James Evans, and the family still stayed in the apartment in the ghetto. It just kind of, I had someone speak to me earlier and they said, why is everybody getting so offended? They didn't get offended with Boondocks. They get offended with Black Dynamite. They don't get offended with comedians. Here's the difference. Comedians are paid to make jokes and pander at life situations. Either they've been through the life situation or they see it and make light of it to make you think different about it, to make you laugh during your pain. The Boondocks, now we see now that they were speaking on things that was happening underneath the scenes. We didn't know this until the Diddy situation came out. But the Boondocks were speaking on actual situations going on from stories they were being told from other people. If you watch the Boondocks, there was so much stuff going on in that series that now was so true. They just changed the people and the names, but the stories are so in key and in tune to what's going on now. Black Dynamite, never watched the series, never got into it, but I know it was kind of lewd. So with that being said, we live in a age now, in a time now, to where things got a little bit different. And we can't really speak on everything we want to speak on. So the reason then that people didn't say much anything is because we kind of had to pick and choose battles. Now you can't speak on nothing no more. They censor you for everything you speak on. If you have your opinion, be it positive or negative, people have something to say about it. So you got to pick and choose battles. You can't speak on anything anymore. So that's why a lot of stuff that's being said and done, nobody's speaking out on, because we are so afraid in the culture we live in now to offend anybody. So it's hard to correct situations. Hey, what's up, KP? Yeah, I'm talking about the situation you had today. So yeah, I'm trying to explain to people. This is my boy KP down there in the box. If you have any questions or any comments, please call me at 501-259-6788. Right now I'm speaking on the Good Times trailer. And yeah, it's like now you have to pick and choose your battles because you can't say what comes to mind because we don't live in that type of era anymore. Remember when our parents were raising us, they said something to you or the neighbors and it was what it was. Even if you got your feelings, they still said it. You can't do that anymore. You end up getting sued. You end up having a situation happen to where you offended somebody. So I want to fight you. Anything can go on because we have so many other things going on. And with that being said, now that I spoke my piece on the good times, what's really going on behind the scenes? Because now everybody is bickering and fighting over this Good Times trailer, so we don't know what's actually going on. Yeah. We're fighting so much over this Good Time trailer, so we got to figure out what's really going on. Anytime something big is happening underneath the scenes with the government or anybody else, or something they don't want you to know about, they will do something like this to distract your attention. Everybody's paying attention right now to what is going on with the Good Time situation. That nobody's paying attention to the fact the story is breaking about them taking funding from disability teachers and autistic teachers, the ones that are teaching these children, they're taking the funding away. Nobody's talking about how during the time right now that this here in Arkansas, we have it to where there's going to be eclipse, our computers and stuff are acting up. Nobody is talking about why there's glitches in the atmosphere. Nobody's talking about why there's more children coming up missing. Because we've been so busy talking about Diddy, so busy talking about this Good Times, and the fact that I gave it time was to just help you understand my thought process on it and the thought process of what's going on with people arguing. So nobody is sitting back really hitting the real key issues right now because we're focused on this. We're not focused on what we need to focus on. Have y'all thought about what's going on with the healthcare right now? Y'all thought about how many people are going to be in trouble pretty soon because the fact that we're having another election and the laws that they're going to put in? You ever wonder about who they're going to put in office? There's so many things going on, but we're not paying attention to that because we're busy arguing over if Florida Evans' kids is going to live their life right. We're busy arguing about if Diddy going to mess with another person. I'm not saying these issues aren't important to people in society. They are. But these are things we see happening that we can't change right now. They are in motion. But there's things that are bigger pictures that nobody is paying attention to. Nobody. And I would just love for someone to call 501-259-6788. I would just love for somebody to call and give their opinion on what they think is going on, because that's the thing. Like me and KP was on the phone today. We didn't get into an argument, but we had a discussion about this situation, about what was offensive about the trailer and what was offensive. We eventually end up breaking into something else, and me and him end up coming to agreement talking about the sleight of hand. That's when they put something in your face to hide something that's in the back of it. That's when they got you looking over here, but they doing something over here. We have got to start paying attention to what's really going down, because they're doing this more frequently as time goes on. They're doing this more frequently as time moves. It's getting so out of hand to the fact that we are not seriously giving a care about what is important, because we're arguing and bickering over some of the littlest penny ante stuff that we can't fix the problems we have in society right now because we're arguing over little stuff. We won't even help people anymore. I just explained this to somebody else. The society we live in is crazy. It's ratchet. And that goes to my next subject, which I call rude much. Because we have lost morale as a society. The morale is going down. We used to care about what goes on with people. You see a homeless person on the side of the road. You won't stop and give them money because you're saying they might have a car to go to, might have a home to go to. That is not your choice decision to make. You don't know what they're going through. I had a situation for me when I was raising my children as a single father where I was homeless. I didn't dress that way. I didn't talk that way, but you don't know what I was going through at that time. So any help I could receive, I needed it. But there's people that would not help because the fact they thought they had me pegged for what I was doing, what I was supposed to be doing. They knew, oh, he messed up, he did this and that. No, there were situations I got into that was not of my fault. We won't help a person on the corner because they might be scamming us. But then what we will do is we will send thousands of dollars to someone else who we have no idea who they are, and we come to find out they are scamming us. Do you have a neighbor that lives next door to you right now? Have you stopped and checked on your neighbor? Be it old or young? Do you even know your neighbor? When you go out to places like to a burger place or to a store, do you speak to the cashier? Do you tip people after you get service from them? Do you open doors for people? Do you help old ladies indoors? Do you go mow yards with people? Our morale is so jacked up. And as society is getting worse and worse because we are trying to fit into a narrative of me, my, Johnny Gill, my. That's how we're living. So we forgot what makes us who we are. We are different beings than beasts and birds of prey because we have the mindset to help others and we have the mindset to do for each other when it's possible to do so. We have stopped caring about morals in life and caring about things that matter because we're busy trying to fit into a certain type of stereotype and narrative because that's the way everybody else does it. Nobody wants to be an individual. Nobody wants to be a leader. Everybody's scared to step up and show they still have morals of society. Do you know how jacked up our future is for these children because we won't step up and show we have morals? We have jacked our whole society up. I told y'all today this was going to get real because sometimes from the last sip, this is what I have to do. It's not always going to be, the last sip is not always going to taste sweet. Sometimes it's going to get bitter. Because you got to look in the mirror sometimes. What Michael Jackson said, I'm looking at the man in the mirror. What? You know what you should do to yourself when you look in that mirror? Because you stop paying attention to morals. And you wonder why people act the way they do to you. People send off the energy that they give back the energy that they receive. They send off the energy that they receive from you. If you hang around a bunch of people and they nasty attitude, and gossipy, because you're sending off that energy too. Refusing to help people, just being rude. In my profession, you know how many people come into my area and are so nasty and rude and I tell them I can't do something for them, although I'm going by the rules? But because we have that me in us, they refuse to understand that there are certain rules and regulations. And it takes a certain social morality about yourself to understand and confirm to the point that this is the personal. This guy's doing what he's supposed to be doing. And through all of that, I still show love and show compassion because that's my part of how I help society's morale. Okay, I got a call here. What's up, KP, man? Right now I'm hitting on the fact that that we're being blindsided right now because we're all focusing on this one area, these one or two or three things with the Diddy and because I know people try to talk about that. We're being, and then now the good times, and people are not paying attention to what's going on, and we're losing morale because of that. Society is losing its place. We as people are losing what makes us individual, which makes us separate from animals and beasts, because now we're busy focusing on all this other stuff. We're not focusing on things that makes us have morale for other people. And while we're focusing on this thing, there's things that are slipping through the cracks that we could stop and save ourselves. But because we don't care about that anymore, we're busy into other things that we have no alert system any longer. We have no show gratitude system any longer. We have no help people system any longer. You have anything to say about that?
Hey, I'm gonna sprinkle a little seasoning on it, baby. Uh, but the first thing you was talking about the sleight of hand going on, everybody forgets about the people building all these underground bunkers and stuff. Yeah, because word on the street, just had a little interview with a guy from the U.S. government, and he was talking about how there've been whispers of the Anunnaki coming back on. So if anybody's, ancient aliens watcher like I am, they talk about the Anunnaki coming back to Earth. Might be on to something. So we'll see what happened with that.
Yeah, and if you notice, and I will say this, sleight of hand is something that's not a lie. It's true. So the thing that's getting me is this. Did you notice how all this came back to back? The Diddy thing, and then the thing with the Good Times preview, the trailer, and this is everybody. This is all they're talking about. Nobody's talking about anything else. So all the other stuff that's going on, nobody's even noticing it because they're busy arguing about these same two items.
Yeah, real stuff. But what you was talking about, the way society is right now, because it ain't old school no more. It ain't about respect. When we was growing up, it was about respect. You had to give your mom and dad respect. You had to give your fellow man respect. Elderly people respect. You know what I'm saying? You being an older cat, you already know. When somebody got respect for you, they're going to come to you in a different way. These little young Thundercats out here. Yeah, we got my OG, blah, 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 yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? That ain't how you treat another black man. You know what I'm saying? That's just me because I'm old school. So I live by the old school rules.
But that's the thing that's something that was being taught. And it's like now you can't even do that any longer because you can't. I remember there was times that I would disrespect. It was never a lot of times. But I disrespect an older person on the street that I thought I can get away with by getting loud with them. And they'd be like, I know your mama, like, whatever. I would get home. My mom said, Mr. Gene said you got smartphone today. I'm like, who's Mr. Gene? The old guy at the store. That's my friend. And then you would get it. But before you even got home, Miss Becky would hit you. Miss Jackson, you had 5 or 6 people that knew you and knew everybody, and they would get you before you got to the house. You can't do that now with nobody's kid. I had a kid before I moved from the Quad Cities. There was a young man that was running and messing up people's cars. And I said something to the young man. He was disrespectful. His mama come outside. Don't be talking to my baby like that. Who you think you is? Ma'am, your son out here disrespecting these old people. And what she should have did was ask, instead of coming at me, why you disrespect my kid, ask what your child was doing wrong. Then now we can correct it. Because that way, if you do it that way, then your child know, okay, I can't be doing what I want to do. There's 2 or 3 adults out there watching me. They know I got to be careful. Instead of reprimanding adults for doing their job. You do have to be careful now because there are a lot of people out here, as we can see with everything we got going on, that are taking and hurting children and doing things. But there's an old school way, who's who and who's not. Come on now, you live in the neighborhood, Miss Johnson, love your kids. You're looking after your kids for 20 years. Mr. Jones, know your babies. You know what's going on. So that can't be used as an excuse no more. What it is, these young people out here, no disrespect to them, almost like I'm clowning on young people. I'm not doing that. All I'm saying is this, is that if you are young and have been taught morals, stop fitting into stereotypes, stop fitting into subcasting that they say you are do not fit into that if that's not you. You don't have to go that route. You can stand up and be somebody different. To me, that's what it is. I'll be 100% honest. That's why the good times sting so much, Chris. That's why it stings so much, KP. That's why that trailer stings so much because older people know what it's like to suffer, and we know we had to do to come out of it. Instead of fitting into a stereotype, I'm not saying the show itself. I don't want to diss the show because, like I said, I haven't seen it. I just seen the trailer. A lot of people are doing that. You give everything a fair shake. It's not that. It's the fact that what it represents to some people after you've seen the original show and you saw what they did to try to get out of their situation, they didn't embrace that. They did what they did as a loving family. Remember, Good Times was the first actual show that represented us that had a mom and a dad in the household. Remember, we didn't have shows like that when we was kids. Chris, you know that.
Yeah, real talk.
That was one of the first shows we had with before Bill Cosby into that. The Good Times was the first show where there was a mom and a dad. They struggled, but them suckers did it for them kids. Regardless of what was going on. They did it for them kids. And so to see the show embrace a different side of what's going on, that's why I think a lot of Good Time fans are upset. It's because I think because they saw what the Evans went through to try to get out, and then to see what they are subcasted on this show and what they got going to embrace that stereotype makes some people uncomfortable, is what it is. But it goes back to morals of life. We've got to keep pumping and producing things out here that are positive to people and keeping them going. Like I told my brother one time, my brother, old Bug Spade. I told my brother, we were talking one time, and like I told him, I said, they were to change that place you live in, even if you've been put behind the 8 ball, you gotta make the change. I tell anybody right now, tell anybody lives in the hood, anybody live in the hood, if they came to me, man, it's always the streets and stuff always dirty. Let me ask you a question. Do you throw trash outside on the street? Do you think about that when you eating a candy bar or smoking cigarettes? I'm not just talking about the black hood. I'm talking about trailer parks. I'm talking about anywhere that there's poverty-stricken people, be it white, be it Latino, be it black. What do you do to make your area better than what it is right now? What do you do to let your kids see what you're doing? So I'm telling you right now, I know some people, KP, and you do too, that lived in bad areas, but their parents worked every day of their life, and them kids and them growing up being good people.
Yeah, some of the best.
Yeah, yep, and that's what it was. Okay, and then Untitled, hey, big up Untitled, man. Like I said, love the EPs you got coming out, but Untitled also made a statement about the Jeffersons about that was a different lifestyle of black culture because it was more based upon the racial stereotype going the opposite way. George Jefferson was the anti-Archie Bunker, if you remember that. But it did show it.
Archie Bunker show.
Yeah, but it did show black people in an aspect that coming from the hood. Because remember, they lived next door to Archie Bunker in the hood. Archie Bunker lived in a little hood.
Yeah, Archie Bunker wasn't rich.
Exactly, and the Jeffersons came from that hood to moving on up. So it showed a different before the Cosbys. It showed successful black people living in the area, and then they moved from a poverty-stricken kind of racial white neighborhood to a high society kind of up on the top of the hill kind of white neighborhood. And it showed a different aspect of how things were. And so
Hey, you got to get that respect, homeboy. That was a deluxe apartment in the sky.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, you're right. They moved on up to the sky, to the east side. They moved on up. But it goes to say the same thing. The shows there were teaching you morale. They talked about racism. They talked about uh, um, phobic items. Be it how things were back then. There were some things that were hidden from us, but we can read through the lines and knew what was what and how people really felt about things. But the fact was, there was not so much sensitivity. You didn't say everything, but you knew everything. And then you spoke on the issue and you moved the issue forward so people can get awareness of what was going on. Now you better not say nothing about nothing. The morale is gone. There is no morality. You better not say nothing about nothing. You cannot stand up and be an activist for anything that is against what they want you to believe or to do. So that is the hornet in the bee's nest. With all this stuff we're talking about right now, from the trailer, from morale, that is what's going on. It's the fact that you are not able to be able to stand up on your beliefs. If the beliefs are strong and they're for the right reasons, they will shut you down. So how you feel about that, KP? I mean, what you so do you believe that right now we need some type of throwback morale situation? I mean, we need one thing that sends us back, man. Like I said, I hate going back in time and backstepping, back. I don't like backpedaling. But we need something to happen, man. I mean, what is it? Is it because the big mamas is gone? Is it because now you're supposed to be your child best friend and not their parent? I mean, what is it?
Ain't no belts no more. That's what the problem is.
Man, you can't solve everything with violence, my brother.
No, and it ain't even about that. It's about people look at it as no, they look at it as a thing of you trying to hurt your child. And I'm sorry, I know there's a passage in the Bible talk about the rod, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna look at it like this. If you're not scared of your parents and there ain't consequences for your actions, then you gonna go through this life running buck wild and ain't nobody gonna be able to tell you nothing.
Well, hold on. That okay? Now remember, now that passage in the Bible. Hold on. Now it says, "Spare the rod, spoil the child." It didn't say. It didn't say. Don't. It don't say. It didn't say don't lick a shot on your kid. That ain't what it did. It didn't say that. It says, "Spare the rod, spoil the child." Meaning, if you don't handle business, they'll do what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? They'll act up. So it lets you know about getting them a taste. Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
Hey, hey, they parents to me, I'm sorry, and this is just the way I grew up. A lot of people might like it, a lot of people might not like it, but it's a respect thing. There's consequences for your actions. And if you don't discipline your kids in the house, then you can be like Susie Bob and little Johnny, 911 coming to your house because your kid is beating you up and you the parent. So I mean, you can live it how you want to live it. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna tell you how I get down. I handles my business with my kids, and my kids is great. I don't want them to be scared of me, but they got to respect me. And once you don't have no respect, bro, you get trampled on. And that's in life, in any situation. If a person don't respect you, they're gonna do whatever they want to you. Because they know you ain't gonna do nothing. So that's the same thing with kids. If you don't mold them to this consequences for their actions, then they wind up being buck wild and out in the streets and doing whatever, bro.
Hey, great statement. I gotta give you applause on that. Great statement because you're so true. That is part of the morale that we're losing. Is there's no discipline and respect any longer because you're not allowed to. There's certain ways you can and cannot do it. There's ways of handling the business without doing it where you hurting somebody, be it a child, be it an adult, anything like that. Because I do believe that if you don't police your kids at home, the world will police them in the streets, and you don't want that for your child. You don't want that for your child.
Too late. Too late.
Yeah,
Too
and
late.
and and when and the thing that's so crazy about that, what's so crazy about that is it was a point where I remember it was a point where they didn't want you touching your kids because like I'm gonna tell you, we was kids, our parents tore us out the frame.
I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, it was no it was no call the people if you want to know. The people like I can't I ain't, that woman crazy. I ain't messing with her. We're no taking a kid out the home. Your parent beat you out the frame. You better not say nothing. and went from that to don't touch your kid. But then it got to the point where your kid ain't going to school, your kid ain't listening to you, the kid get in trouble at the store, or they steal something, or they in trouble out on the street. Guess what? You're in trouble. Your kid's truant. It's your fault as a parent. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hold up now. Hold up now. Hold up now. Hold up. You can't have it both ways. Either you're going to let me discipline my child or you're going to take control of the situation. It can't go both ways to where I can't discipline them, but you want to make sure that I'm controlling them. It don't go both ways. But then it goes back to the
That's that
aspect as
sleight of
well.
hand, bro. Hey, that's that sleight of hand you talking about. We don't want you to discipline your kids, but when they get in trouble, we'll discipline them. We'll lock their ass up, get some money off them. Real talk.
But I think right now, I think we have some major issues. And that's why I keep going back to this. Like I said, that's what I was talking about earlier. I keep going back to it. I know, like I said, we didn't have a disagreement, but we kind of agreed to disagree on the situation with the good times. Because like I said, you are right. There are people that are going over the top because it's just a series. But then again, you feel where I'm coming from too. Like we came from that, and now we got to show. Because remember this, like I said, as an adult, I'm not really gonna watch it. I'm not really because if you're a Good Time fan, it don't do nothing for you. But for these young kids, they ain't never seen Good Times. They're gonna watch it, and yes, it fits into today's society. That show fits into today, Chris. I can't lie. It fits into today's society. It just really does.
That's what they want to see.
But
Trying to give the people what they want.
yeah, but what we're saying right now that you can agree with me on is as far as us coming from when we came from old school and we're saying that there's no respect, there's no morale, there's no credibility, there's no responsibility, there's none of the abilities. Responsibility, dependability, credibility, respectability. That that is not what I want to feed the people I'm trying to see better themselves.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Trying to keep it going. That's
Yeah.
all.
And I'm trying to keep the party going. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to keep the party going. Because you, like I said, you see the changes we've made. And when I say we, and I'll hit it hard here, because I know some people's like, well, you know, I'm kind of vague. I will say it. The upgrade or the forward motion we've made as black people, some of the stuff that we get ourselves into is setting us way back. We can't keep we let's keep it real right here, please. We can't keep blaming others for the stuff that we putting ourselves into. To me, that's a scapegoat. It just is. We can't keep saying if we've been placed behind the eight ball, we know that. Anytime you play pool and you got a ball behind the eight ball and you trying to get your ball in before you hit the eight ball in, did you not readjust your pool game? Do you not take the cue ball and move it around so you can get a better shot before you hit that eight ball in? Do you not adjust? That's the problem. We're not adjusting. Stop taking what you see as an easy way out and start adjusting what's going on with you in your life. You don't have to settle for where you're at or what you're doing. You can do better. I don't want nobody, because I know people gonna be in my comment. I know I'm tuning some people out. But it's the point of, it's like we just talking about respect and old school. Old school head used to sit you down and tell you, hey boy, come here, boy. Now you know you're out there doing wrong. I seen you with that girl over there today. You know she ain't doing the right thing. Them boys you're hanging with, they're gonna get you put in jail. You need to sit on down somewhere. That's what we supposed to be doing. We don't do that no more. So me with this pod, the last sip podcast came about because I wanted to give people commentary from experience of life on things and trying to make a difference. Now it don't hit hard with everybody because I'm not in the algorithm. I'm not out here screaming "World Star" or "bah, bah, bah, bah." I'm not out here screaming that type of stuff. I'm not showing you half-dressed women. I don't have the best lights and camera. But I always told people with me, it was never the quantity, it's always the quality of the message. And if I can get one young brother or one young sister or this kid that's down the street or his parents to tune in and find out that they have something they can do, be doing different, or they got a different aspect of how these things going, that's what I'm here for. If I can open your eyes so that you can see there's something going on besides what they're showing you, that's what I'm here for. You got any comments or questions? 501-259-6788. Hey, the Mac Man. This is the Mac Man's Last Sip podcast. I got my boy KP here right now. We discussing the Good Times trailer and also Rude Much, which is basically a slack regression, if you will, in society's morality. We're dealing with that. I want to thank my son Untitled for tuning in. Also, I seen you, Trey, the Twitch man. I want to thank you for that. For tuning in as well. For y'all that's first time here on Instagram, I want to thank you. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I want to give all y'all applause, man, for all y'all tuning in to me today. It's my first time on Instagram, so I want to thank you for tuning in for that. But yeah, I just want to, like I said, I want to end this conversation on a good note. You got anything to add to this, KP?
Man, I'm just loving the way you delivering the message, baby.
Well, I appreciate that, man, because it is something that has to be talked about. Like I said, we have too many people out here that ain't handling business, and they so worried about what's could go wrong if they speak that, if they get on that, if they tell people, and if they are that person that wants to help people change their life, they so worried about what could go wrong or what could happen. So I wanted to make sure that I sent that out to everybody. So I'll give a round of applause for this conversation. Okay, now before I go today, I have got to let you know about a place that we have down here down south in Cabot, Arkansas called the Mean Pig Barbecue. Now, you've probably seen the Mean Pig Barbecue on Man versus Food. As Adam sit there, he tried to take on the Shut Up Juice Challenge. The Shut Up sauce is one of the hottest sauces in the United States, period, that they put on barbecue down here. KP, man, I gotta get you down here, man. You gotta come down and eat good with me, man. I gotta get you down here. Now it's ran by my friend, a buddy of mine, and I am so blessed to know this man, Chad Merritt. Chad Merritt is a young man who's spiritual, a wife, children. He is an awesome, awesome guy. He's always looked out for me. I met the guy one time on my job. He walked in. We got to talking. I told him I was an author and about my social media, and he just embraced me and just, it was one of the best friendships I could have ever made. And I tease him all the time. Like I tease him today. I said, man, you're a celebrity. I got to interview you. And he would sit there and laugh and giggle. But this man's making changes in people's lives. He's seriously embraced me. He's embraced my family. If you know, I have a granddaughter with autism. He's embraced her, my wife and me. He's embraced a couple other people that work with him. I heard their stories today. This awesome. I got to go into the smokehouse today, and he was back there grinding up the vittles. And I'm on my right now. I don't know if you know, I work out a lot, and I'm on my fast and stuff. And as far as my workout fast, my cut time, and I'm back there. He's handing me pulled pork to taste on with this little secret season. I don't tell nobody what it was, but I'm back there grubbing. Long story short, this man has been amazing. He's an awesome guy to know. He helps the community. Him and his father have been running this smokehouse for years. If you guys ever get down, you got to come visit them. Today I went in. I was so blessed. I gave him a call today. I said, Chad, this is Ontario. I said, I got the fever for the flavor of some ribs. And I was like, a place where they give you more sauce than give you meat. Willis. No, I was playing. So, just playing. So I went ahead and gave him a call. He was like, I said, what you doing, bud? He said, nothing. I said, man, how much for a rack of ribs? He's like, are you going to review these ribs? Are they for you? I said, well, they're for me, but I'm going to talk about you on my podcast, man. I'm going to give you a shout out. He said, man, come and get them. And I was like, no, I'm going to pay. He said, no, just come and get them. That's the type of guy he is. Because I offered to give him publicity on my podcast. He was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. It is very hard to find genuine people that way. Because everybody wants something for nothing. And this man doesn't do that. His restaurant is a staple of the South. I call him the king of the smoked barbecue. That's just me. But if you ever get a chance, come on down here to see him. It's called The Mean Pig. I'm going to leave the address information in my in my comments. You'll be able to look him up. You get a chance, he's located at 3096 Bill Foster Memorial Highway, Cabot, Arkansas. Phone number 501-941-5489. The Mean Pig. You can catch him on social media. Just look him up under The Mean Pig Barbecue. Man, when I say this dude gets down, he gets down. Go in there, get you some ribs, some brisket. You got chicken. You got the pulled pork sandwich. Now, here's the unique thing about that sandwich. As of recently, he's had a resurge in his restaurant. His restaurant has had a resurge. They had, Adam did it years ago, but as of recently, they had another show come down and interview him, and he has this potato. Check this out, KP. This potato has pulled pork on it, queso cheese, and more pulled pork. Oh, this potato, it'll put you to get itis. It is, the potato is off the chain. You hear me? The pulled pork sandwiches, just, and the ribs. Oh yeah, the ribs, yeah. Fall off the bone. You can get 3 or 4 different sauces. I mean, this guy puts in work. He employs young people. He employs people that has situations in their life. This brother is doing big things, and God is going to continue to bless him the way he does it, man. He's just off the chain, off the chain. With this kindness and the sincerity of his love for people. Because like I said, when I first met the guy, I was like, okay, this can't. No, he is really that guy. He really is that guy. Also, after the interview that just got done, he had there's a guy that supports barbecue. He came down to the restaurant and tried to shut up sauce, the shut up juice challenge. This was recently. If you get on Mean Pig, like I said, I'm going to share some stuff on my page on Facebook. If you get on Mean Pig Barbecue, you'll see the little segment. The guy, you get 5 minutes after you eat this sandwich before you can drink water. Man, it puts people under. This is a Food Network challenge that has been attempted by Adam from Man vs. Food. So this place is very popular. You get a chance, come down to Arkansas. You get a chance to come to Central Arkansas. Come down here, hit the Mean Pig. I guarantee you, it'll be worth your time. Oh, like I said, and I don't advocate for violence, but the food's so good, you'll smack your mama. So I just want to let you know that. So, well, before I go on to give mad love to everybody that tuned in tonight, I want to give mad love to everybody that called in. Thank you, KP. You will be back with us on Friday with the gossip, right? So you gonna come back Friday with some What's Brewing? You got something for us Friday?
Man, I keep it hot in the streets.
Okay, that's what I like here, man. Because we want to hear something, see what's going on. Give us just desserts. Let us know what's going on Friday, man. We look forward to you. I want to thank everybody that tuned in. I love sending shouts out. I send shouts out to my boy Rich, Double H, Uncle Nail from the BRL Live, Breaking Records Live podcast. You can catch them on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Hey, whatever you do, if you sing, if you rap, if you dance, produce, whatever, right? These cats is looking out for you. I'm telling you, from Miami to Philly, these cats is real. Catch them, BRL, Breaking Records Live. Hey, man, a little shout out to my son Untitled. If you look at the video, the intro video for BRL, my son is in there. He's the light-skinned cat doing his little rap on through the streets and with the hair braided up. You know what I'm saying? That's what he does. He got talent. Be checking them out. Congratulations to my stepdaughter, Luna, Star Child, or Star Seed, whatever she wants to call herself, on her reveal. She's having another girl. This will be this a little girl, yeah. So this is kind of crazy because she already got a couple. I told her she gotta get it right because she ain't got no boys, and she's also got engaged, so she's getting married. Congratulations to them. Also, to my niece Dajae Hanson, who's getting married pretty soon. Man, KP, my family, man, they finna jump the broom. It's a lot of them, bro, finna jump this broom, man. I don't know what to do.
Hey, they doing it, man. Hey, I gotta give a special shout out today, though.
Go ahead, bro.
For real. It's April 2nd. Shout out to my pops, man, up there, James Poole, aka Teddy Bear. I'm getting it in for you tonight, baby.
All right, man. Yes. And how long has it been since your pops passed away, Poole?
Bro, It's been a good 18 of
Hey man, hey, I miss my Uncle Charles, y'all. Hey, I had to hit you with that,
them.
bro. I had to give you one of them for I had to give you for Pops, man. I had to give you one of them for Pops,
You
man.
know it.
Hey, gotta hold on, gotta stay strong. Hey, you know
Hmm.
what? I'm here. Gotta show you can lean on. Hey,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
man.
every day, every day.
Hey, Untitled said, rest in peace, man, to your pops, man. He sent love. Your nephew just sent love. He said, rest in peace to your pops, man. So he wants you to know
Hey,
that.
I want to hear Untitled on the show, man. I want to hear some Untitled tracks.
Well, I'm trying. Hey, I'm trying to get him to come. Hey, like I said, man, he my son, but he do his thing. You know, he an artist. You know how that is with the artists, man. You know, they kind of when you become an artist and you've been on podcasts and doing things, you know, you get kind of filet mignon, uh, Don Perignon. You know, you get kind of like that. So it's hard to get him on the show. But
Yeah,
he my son, and I can't get him on the show. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta do
yeah. Well, you
something.
better get a hold of his manager and see if you can book him.
Man, you know what? I'm his life manager. Forget that. I'm his pops. I am the head. I'm the numero uno. So yeah, so I got to get it going. I might end up having to do a live show, uh, a different day to get him on the show. So I'm gonna have to end up doing because I would love for him to get on the show. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah,
that. Yeah, it'll be nice to get him on here, man. Because I want to get him on. He got a couple of tracks I like to put him on here, get his tracks up and going.
yeah,
Yeah, because
for sure.
you know what he do. You know how he gets. Well, you heard him. You know how your nephew get down. So yeah, you already know.
Mhm.
You know what? See, look, my nephew, your nephew asking for your phone number, KP, so we can get on live together, whatnot tonight. So I'm at to slide him that number. But y'all, we done had fun
Yeah,
tonight. It's been a good night, y'all. We done sit here and played around a little bit. We done got into some good, deep conversations. So y'all will let y'all know, man, how much love I got for y'all, and I'll let y'all know that no matter what we got going on, it ain't never about spilling tea. What it's about here, big bro?
oh, it's getting that last shift, baby.
That's right. Peace.